What's up, y'all? Good evening. It's Sela the poet, and it's been a minute since I did a web blog or a video clip. Happy holidays, happy belated holidays to everybody who celebrates the holiday, and enough respect to those who don't, due to the Native American genocide and the way that Native Americans were treated through history. I respect people who celebrate the holiday and those who don't. So lately, I've been deep in thought. I am a domestic violence survivor, and I've been a survivor since 2011. Uh, I've just been thinking, about my life and some of the things that I've gone through. I went through a lot of things. Domestic violence comprises different things. It's not just about the physical abuse, it's also about the emotional and mental abuse of a person. The lies, the threats, the false prosecution. Abusers can sometimes accuse you of abuse. And depending on the judge that you get, sometimes the judge will believe the abuser. The system doesn't always help abuse victims. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. I've been on both sides where I got a lot of help from the system, and then it was also used against me when my abusive relatives put false allegations against me in court, and I went through false and malicious prosecution in court. But eventually, I appealed and I won, and I'm just grateful for that. When you're a victim like myself, well, not a victim but a survivor, I can't think about myself as a victim anymore. You try to live a life separate from those who have put you through violence and put you through abuse. Sometimes there are family members that are toxic. There are family members that choose sides, and when someone is not repentant, or when somebody doesn't show you that they've changed and they are still abusive, and they never either try to make amends or apologize for what they've done to you, or are actively trying to change their behavior, sometimes you have to still cut that person out of your life. I unfortunately have cut certain relatives and family members out of my life because of past abusive behavior, violence, threats, lies, and everything else that goes along with the toxic type of relationship. It's not easy. Holidays are usually difficult. During the holidays, you have memories because you think about the past and you think about how things used to be, but you realize now that in the future, things will never go back to being the way that they used to be, because now you're a new person and you have new knowledge and you have new strength. And with that new knowledge comes change. Now that you know your worth and you know your value, you're not just going to let somebody be violent against you. You're not going to let someone, try to disrespect you or threaten you or, treat you any type of way. And that's why I choose to live my life separately. But sometimes abusive relatives and abusive people will stalk you, or sometimes they will still try to keep tabs on you. And, I just find it funny. Like, I live a separate life, but yet people are still sometimes in my business. They find out things like my address, where I live at. They, just go poking and prying, trying to find out information about my life and why. We don't even speak. We don't even have a relationship. We don't have a regular communication. But, I think that I've changed for the better. I know that I'm just not going to accept anything anymore. And it's a much more peaceful life. It's difficult, you know, because it's not perfect, but it's a much more peaceful life. It's a much more serene life when you don't have the elements of violence and people threatening you and lying on you and being toxic toward you in your life. So if you go through any of those things, just know that you have the right to make changes. You know that you can change things. You know, it all begins with you. You make the decision on what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept. So those are just my thoughts tonight. Okay, and take care, everybody. Peace.